Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics of the day and the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense and just the right amount of sarcasm by an expert in financial literacy. That's me, Larry Steinhouse. Hey, I guess I'm also an expert in sarcasm, too. We'll find out. All right, today is Friday, July 29th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can also find repeats of the show on Rumble, and Spotify. Please search Money Chat Now on Larry Steinhouse, and then you can follow me there as well. And if you'd like to connect, please go to contactlarry.com. That's contactlarry.com. And there you will find my social media connections, my email, my text message information, and well, everything else you need to know. That's contactlarry.com. Hey, just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can also find Money Chat Now and The Larry Steinhouse Show on Spotify, so please go there and subscribe as well. You can also comment live on the show on YouTube, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. A couple of people saying hi. We got John and we got Linda. Thank you so much. By the way, if you're coming from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page on Facebook, only on Facebook this problem is, your name may not show up my dashboard. You can comment anywhere else, but if you're on Facebook, go to the Money Chat Now fan page and like it and also do that. By the way, if I have a question for you guys. Do you know someone who would really enjoy the show? Maybe the comedic common sense or maybe the good market advice? Please share this show with them by clicking the share button and sharing it directly on their page. Share it in groups as well and help your friends make more money and maybe have a laugh in the morning. Money Chat Now, of course, is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. All right, so today's show, we're going to be talking about some good stuff. Of course, we're going to be talking about the recap, lots of stuff in the recap. We're going to be talking about insider trading. Oh, yeah. We're going to be talking about Instagram again, and the most important thing that will ever happen to the government, which is the Inflation Reduction Act. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, just a couple of people saying hi real quick. We got Tom and Michael. Thanks so much. All right, yesterday was interesting when it opened up nicely positive. However, in about 15 minutes, it all went bad fast. It was really weird. The Dow had dropped about 200 points immediately, but at about 10:30, the market started its rally and actually swung back up from the bottom of the day, up about 550 points from the bottom, and finally it finished up a total of 332 points. That was pretty good. The S&P finished up about 48 points, and the NASDAQ up about 130. The big news after the bell was when Amazon posted their earnings report. I'll tell you, if you're like me, I watch the earnings reports afterwards. To me, it's like the Super Bowl. So the stock soared up 12 points immediately on the good news. They beat on revenue, but still had a slight loss per share, which is really weird that they had a slight loss per share, but they did. They also had growth of about 17%. I had been suggesting this stock whenever it was below 110 and especially below 105. And this would have been a killer play if you picked it up at the beginning of the week, especially if it was a stock option. All in all, it was a good earnings report. Intel also reported earnings, and it wasn't so good, though. The stock fell 9% as soon as it was announced. The report was horrible. Actually, the earnings per share were 29 cents per share versus 70 cents per share expected. Think about that. That's pretty bad. That's less than half. Wow. On top of that, their revenue was also down. They also had a bad guidance report. When the chip maker lowered all its expectations going into the second half of the year, my guess is that most people they bought the new computer the year before, so they're not thinking about buying new computers. They all bought them during the scamdemic so they could work at home. And most don't need to replace their computers for a few years. It's interesting how the chip bill didn't help either. So remember the chip bill? If you aren't familiar with it, it's basically a bill that was passed that diverts $180 billion to help chip manufacturers like Intel build plants to build chips to compete with China. And if you watched this yesterday on my show, you know that only 80 billion of it are actually going to the plants. 100 of it is going back to the government to research chips. I don't understand that bill at all. But hey, what do you want? What do you expect? Apple was next, and the company also did fairly well on their earnings. Their earnings was above estimates, and their revenue was just slightly above estimates as well. Their guidance report said that they expected growth despite pockets of softness. I guess Apple is getting up there in age like me. Oh, well, I think they meant maybe something else. All right, Apple initially jumped 5 points on the news, and the stock is up this morning, so that's pretty good. And those are the biggies of the day. Of course, we also had the infamous GDP report, which basically had a retraction of 0.9% in GDP. And when you add that to the retraction last quarter, we have the textbook definition of a recession. Now, as you have probably heard by now, the Democrats have been trying to redefine the definition of recession. You know, like redefine the definition of a woman. You know, just because a man chops off his wiener, it doesn't make him as a woman. And just because unemployment is at historic lows, it doesn't make this not a recession. This is a textbook recession. The reality is that because it came so fast, people aren't noticing it yet. We are in a transition period. You know, basically you're wearing a wig and you still have your wiener. That's basically what this is. The transition will happen over the next year as we get closer to another GDP retraction for 2 periods in a row. However, this next recession will be the one that people will notice. So when they take off their pants, they won't see the same things anymore. The White House and their geriatric patient leader should not try to redefine the term recession. Instead, they should play it out by saying, yes, we are officially in a recession. This will probably be the lightest felt recession in history, and for that we are grateful. And that's the truth. It's the truth. It's a light recession. Unfortunately, we're headed for a major recession. By the way, all you women listening out there, are you girls getting upset with that when the trans women are using your public bathrooms and they leave the toilet seat up? Do you guys get upset at that? Yeah, I'm just curious. Come to think of it, actually, I wonder if those puddles on the floor below the urinals are from women transitioning to men. All right, let's look at the futures because I'm getting way off topic at this point. All right, right now the Dow is up 62, the S&P is up 26, and the NASDAQ is up 138. Not bad, not a bad start so far. Not bad at all. All right, let's talk about insider trading. Hey, if you've heard the rumors of Nancy Pelosi and, of course, her husband trading stocks and stock options and making a killing off the insider trading information they have, you know, that's basically what's going on, right? They make a killing off the insider trading information as Nancy Pelosi makes the policies that affect companies. You know, like the vaccine that Biden tried to shove into everyone's body and that the vaccine manufacturers were paid by the government to produce. Simple things like the infrastructure, whether the infrastructure will be passed. So the Pelosi's can invest in infrastructure stocks that will benefit from the bills and the laws passed. You know, insider trading. Well, it appears that some legislators are finally starting to take notice. Either that or they're maybe becoming jealous. I don't know, one or the other. So here's a proposal by some Democrats. The House of Representatives is proposing a ban for lawmakers, their spouses, and senior staff from trading stocks. Not a bad idea. This is a report from a small newsletter and hasn't gone mainstream yet. My guess is it's just a rumor and the Pelosi-led Democrats will never give up the gravy train, even if it's just for a month. Several months ago, I reported on the whole insider trading scam, and if you never heard the rules of the government employees holding stocks, listen up. So all employees, including Congress, lawmakers, and all representatives, are supposed to report their stock and investment holdings to their HR department. I believe this reporting is annual, but it may be quarterly. So let's say once a year or even once a quarter, they have to report what stocks they have. They simply submit a list of their positions to the HR department, and it's held in their personnel file. You would think this report would be a good indicator of who's insider trading. However, there are two problems with this reporting. One is that no one really looks at it anyway, and the other one, well, check this part out. The second and biggest problem with this report is what happens if you don't report your holdings or intentionally leave out information on the form. So, the fine for such an offense is a whopping $200. That's right, $200. So if you're the Pelosi's and you're afraid that this report may get you accused of insider trading, you might forget to put, I don't know, maybe Moderna on your form. And if you're caught, you might have to take your change jar filled with $100 bills and cough up 2 of them. This shouldn't be much of a problem, especially when you made a couple of $1 million on the stock you conveniently left off the form. You know, I often say sometimes the fine is cheaper than following the law. Clearly, the employees of the government who makes the laws and creates the fines have figured this out. So clearly, the attempt to stop the fraud in the government is just a joke. It won't even be a political talking point, at least not yet. That's how deep this insider trading problem is. Well, let's take a commercial here, and when we come back, I'll talk to you about some more good stuff.
Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is Because Everything You Think You Know About Money is Wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. Oh boy, so many people online. I want to say hello to real quick before I forget. I want to make sure I say hello. So let's see. All the way up here, we've got Tom and Michael and Tommy and Jose and James. Both Jose and James are watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much. We have Glenn and we have Deb and we have Art and John and James and Michael. Wow, and John. And some people are like pretty outraged at my last thing. All right. Also, we got Mark and my brother Seth. Thank you, Seth. And let's see, who else we got? We got Charles. Thank you so much. And, of course, Art. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And, by the way, if you're watching for the first time or if you never left a message, just leave a comment so I know you're watching, because there's no other way I can know you're watching unless you leave a comment. All right. By the way, if you like to order my book, you can order my book by going to barnesandnoble.com or Amazon and just order it there. By the way, if you have the book, do me a favor and please leave a review for the book. I really appreciate that. There's a bunch of reviews on Barnes & Noble. We need to get some reviews on Amazon. And by the way, this show is live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can also find repeats of this show on Rumble and Spotify. Please search Money Chat Now and Larry Steinhouse on Spotify, and you can follow me there as well. And of course, if you'd like to connect, please go to contactlarry.com, contactlarry.com. And there you'll find my social media connections, my email, my text message information as well. That's contactlarry.com. Don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the like button so I know you're liking the show. Also, hit the share button, and you can leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them live. Hey, Kim, thanks so much. Thanks for joining us. All right, so far we've been talking about, the GDP and all these stocks and the fact that, they're redefining the word recession just like they're redefining the word woman, and I don't know. We got kind of crazy in the beginning. We talked about Nancy Pelosi and the insider trading. And coming up, we have more on Instagram, and we also have more on the Inflation Reduction Act. There's nothing funnier than this. You got to see this. We got to hear this in a little while. The Inflation Reduction Act. It is absolutely hysterical. And of course, we have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit the like button? I told you didn't reset the camera. Did you hit that share button yet? Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And we're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I don't know, whatever. You can find repeats of this show on Rumble and Spotify, as I said before, by searching Larry Steinhouse or Money Chat Now. All right, before we start the second half, don't forget, order the book. And don't forget to leave me reviews in the book as well. All right, let's get into the second half because I'm obviously all mixed up here. The other day, I did a report on the Kardashians bashing Instagram for making changes to their platform. The Kardashians were complaining that Instagram, known for its picture highlighting app, or known as a picture highlighting app, was becoming a TikTok clone, and the Kardashians weren't going to have it. The Kardashians publicly flogged the Meta platform-owned app with complaints, and they had complaints coming from all over the place. So coming in, we heard from the company leader who, in a video, said that he would look into it, but felt that video is the way of the future. Well, Meta, who owns Instagram, is ending a test version of Instagram app that earned the ire, I should say, of many people, including celebrity sisters Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian. Anyway, Instagram chief Adam Mosseri told the platformer newsletter that he would roll back its recently released version of Instagram that predominantly featured algorithmically recommended videos to users and their home screens. Of course, Mosseri then released another video on the platform explaining why the Kardashians won this argument and he had the promise to change back. Hey, Kim, do me a favor. Kim, I need some help here. Can you call WWDB and tell them to fire West, the producer, who couldn't show up for work and get me on the air on time? You know, that's why we're not on the air in time, because I had to say, no, I've had enough of you guys not showing up. By the way, some of you asked me for the email of the station manager to help flood the station with your disapproval of them treating me like this and kicking me off the air. Actually, they didn't kick me off the air. I quit. But here's the email again for the program director. The program director, or I should say the station manager, is Laura Lewis at bbg.com. That's Laura, L-O-R-A, Lewis, Lewis, at B as in boy, B as in boy, GI.com. B as in boy, B as in boy, GI.com. That's Laura Lewis at bbgi.com. And for those who wrote her, thank you very much. I know some of you guys reached out to me, told me you wrote her. And for those who didn't get a chance, let her know how you feel about her messing up my show so badly that I had to quit. Maybe we can get the show back on the airwaves with some respect from the radio station. I don't know. But hey, why not let her know how you feel? All right, let's talk about what's going on here. All right, let's go. Whenever I say the words, the Democrats can't really do anything more stupid than this, they meet the challenge. Well, they have certainly met the challenge here with what they are calling the Inflation Reduction Act. Let's talk about what this bill actually has in it. First of all, the package would spend roughly $369 billion on climate and energy programs, including tax credits for buying electric cars and hydrogen vehicles. Senator Manchin, who is helping push this bill, said the proposed legislation would invest in technologies needed for cleaner production and use of cleaner fuel uses, including hydrogen, nuclear, renewables, and fossil fuels. Does any of this sound familiar? It sounds a lot like the Build Back Better bill. Could it possibly be that the Build Back Better bill was just renamed? Yes, that's all this is. They literally took the front cover off the bill and put a new cover on it with a new favorable name. I'll bet I know your question. How does this bill fight inflation? After all, it is called the Inflation Reduction Act. Well, let me tell you how it will do just that, because it really will fight inflation. Let me explain how. The government is proposing another $15,000 tax on all large corporations. No, this isn't the minimum 15% global tax from the past proposals. This is an additional 15% tax to pay for the Build Back Better program named the Inflation Reduction Act. So how does it fight inflation? It's so simple. Well, technically, it causes more inflation, and then it totally solves the inflation problem. Let me explain how that works. First, it causes more inflation, then it solves the inflation problem. If you tax corporations more, guess who pays that tax? You and I do in the cost of goods and services. So if you tax Amazon, for example, 15% more, expect the price of your products to rise by at least 15%. Is that reducing or causing inflation? Duh, dumbass Democrats. It causes more inflation. But here's where it actually can reduce inflation. Let me explain what's going to happen and how it will actually reduce inflation. When the people can no longer afford to buy stuff at these higher inflated prices, people will stop buying. Companies will stop making less money, and then companies will lay off workers. The workers who are laid off will no longer buy the goods and services from these companies, and then more workers will get laid off. Eventually, only a small group of people will be able to afford these products and services, causing an oversupply problem, and then a deflation will occur. So the massive unemployment caused by these dumbass Democrat bills will definitely reduce inflation after a few years. It will also increase foreclosures, repossessions of cars, bankruptcies, and homelessness, but inflation will no longer be a problem. Maybe they could just rename the Inflation Reduction Act to something more appropriate, like the Destroy America Act. We could all wear blue hats to say, let's destroy America again. Of course, this bill would never pass unless the Democrats cheat. Check this out. And guess what? They are doing just that. Apparently, Democrats hope to approve the bill in the Senate via a special budget process called reconciliation, which would allow it to pass with 50 votes and with Vice President Kamala Ding Dong breaking the tie vote in the 50-50 chamber with one vote. So rather than the 60 votes needed to pass this legislation, and it only needs 50 votes plus Harris. Not to bore you with the Reconciliation Act, but the basic idea of the Reconciliation Act was to pass through budgetary issues mostly to keep the government open when the budget wasn't reconciled or to reduce spending. This use of Reconciliation Act is not intended, it's not the intended use of the law. But hey, mail-in voting and stuffing ballot boxes isn't legal either. So expect this to be passed by more Democrat cheating and get ready for real recession or maybe even a depression. All I know is it's hard not to be depressed by these idiots in Washington. All right, let's take a break here, and when we come back, we'll go over some picks and plays.
Okay, so you thought about buying and selling real estate. You've thought about investing in the stock market, but don't know where to start. Well, what if you could find a place to unlock strategies to master both real estate and the stock market, all without the headache? That place is Investor Schooling, hosted by Larry Steinhouse, an expert in real estate, financial literacy, and the ins and outs of the stock market. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate, and you will learn mastery of stock techniques such as options and covered calls. You will even get a chance to ask one of your burning questions to the stock options sultan, the master of picks and plays. Call 866-424-2829 for free information and receive a complimentary pass to attend classes, or register online at investorschooling.com. Don't delay. These passes are limited. So what are you waiting for? Call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. Or visit investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. Hey, I also want to remind you that this show is open to sponsorship. So I've sold hundreds of books to people who listen to it and watch the show every day, and we have raving fans. And if you'd like to advertise your product on the show, please reach out to me and let me know. A couple of people have reached out. We're going to be negotiating with those guys right now. You can reach out to me for this or just about anything you'd like to discuss by going to contactlarry.com. That's contactlarry.com. Just let me know that you want to advertise on the show. By the way, did you know that we also have the interviews from Interview Tuesday on a website called Money Chat Now? You can also find Money Chat Now breakout stories on Spotify. Just search Money Chat Now. And Larry Steinhouse, please subscribe to the Money Chat channel and, the Spotify channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so far we've been talking about the recap and the GDP and how the Democrats don't know what a recession is, just like they don't know what a woman is. We talked about insider trading and how Pelosi is, she might actually lose she might not be able to make as much money as she did before if somebody actually takes a stand and says, hey, you should stop doing that. We talked about Instagram and how Instagram is changing, and of course the Inflation Reduction Act, which is really great because it really will reduce inflation. Like I said, it will also cause foreclosures and homelessness and bankruptcies, but it will definitely reduce inflation. It's just amazing. Coming up, of course, we have today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that share button yet? Come on, hit that like button, hit that share button. Tell all your friends about the show. Let them know how it's both entertaining and educational. Please share it on your page or in groups that you feel may also enjoy the show. Have them like the Money Chat Now fan page so they can get notified of shows every morning. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And hey, look, if you haven't left a comment yet, please leave me a comment. Also tag some of your friends in the comment section. And you can find repeats of the show on Rumble and Spotify. Let's get into what's going on today. Will this fantastic rally continue? It's pretty good. It seems like Wall Street has forgotten all about inflation, the pending or current recession, and they've forgotten all about the war, and they've forgotten all about gas prices. Seems like Wall Street. Maybe that's the lesson here. Wall Street has a short memory, and in the end, the only thing that really matters is the high money managers, or the high that the money managers get when they make money in the market. It's simply the steak and tuna theory exemplified. So if you guys don't know the steak and tuna theory, you need to come to Investor Schooling and let me explain it to you. It's a theory that I created that explains the entire stock market. It's called the steak and tuna theory. So what would I buy now? Well, anything that hasn't reaped from the rally. This again includes, of course, travel stocks. I'd also look at chip stocks, especially Intel. Their bad earnings report was pushed aside, and there's a possibility that they're at the bottom. Intel is also at the bottom of the 5 years, and that completely reset the numbers that we haven't seen since 2014. This to me makes it a buy. If it falls below 30, it's even a bigger buy. Look, right now my 3 top companies are Apple, Alphabet, and Amazon. This AAA group are really all you need if you really want to buy and hold stocks. They'd be great stocks. So get the AAA. I also like them as stock option plays as well, because they're also going to be moving pretty well as well. So I think it's pretty good. All right, let's get into crypto. Bitcoin is over 24,000. I know maybe the diehard fans are actually winning this argument. They all said it would come back. Did you and I miss the boat? Maybe. Ethereum is also moving up and is now over 1,700. Not bad plays if you bought them at the lows, so it may not be so bad. Gold and silver, so gold notched up to about 1760, and silver is a penny away from 20. Let's make silver 20 again. Although I like it better when it was 25. That would be much better. You know, I'm telling you, now's the time to buy silver because I mean, look, it may go down again. It may even hit 17. But at the same time, I would buy it just to have it because it's eventually going to go up. We're eventually going to see recessions. We're eventually going to see depressions. We're definitely going to see everything that we need to see that's going to cause silver and gold to go up. So I think they're good plays. The Treasury bond right now is where it's been when it dropped to 2.71%. So if the Treasury bond at 2.1 drops to 2.17%, that usually means the NASDAQ does really well. So watch the NASDAQ today and see what happens because, hey, it may be pretty good. Oil is sneaking up to $98 a barrel. Now, the average gas price is now $4.25. $4.25? Do you remember a few months ago when we were saying, oh my God, $4.25, that's horrible. And now it's a good thing? Well, I guess sort of, but that's just so weird, right? That's what we did. We went from $4.25 being a horrible thing to now it's a good thing. That'd be about 80 cents off the high so far, so that's pretty good. Hey, I want to thank you all, as always, for watching Money Chat Now. We are live here on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube every day at 7:30. You can also find repeats of this show on Rumble and Spotify. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now. I am also the CEO of Investor Schooling. Remember, also, you can contact me directly on www.contactlarry.com. That's www.contactlarry.com. I also want to remind you that I'm not going to be here on Monday, so there will be no show on Monday. It won't be that, that I quit another show, but I want you to enjoy your weekend and just know that I won't be here on Monday. I'll put a reminder up on Monday, so all you guys who are addicted to the show, I'm really sorry I won't be here. We may set up a best of, and if we do, you can watch that. But I want everybody to enjoy their weekend, and of course, make it a profitable day.